All right. Just wait till it shows that we're live. 1 second. Wait till it. All right, there we go. We should be good. Hold on. Let's see. All right, there we go. All right, you good for an hour? I got like about only an hour. You good for that?
Yeah. I mean, preferably a little bit shorter because I want to sleep, but it's fine.
45, 30 minutes or 45?
Yeah, I think 30 is fine for one topic.
Let's do 30. Okay. I put the timer 30. All right. You want me to lay out how purgatory? Do you want me to read it, or do you want me to lay out my belief first?
Yeah. I think I just asked you to prove it, so I would like you to go through.
So
the
in 1 Corinthians 3, St. Paul is criticizing the Corinthian church, and precisely because he knows that judgment day is coming. That judgment day where they're going to be judged for their works, the bema seat of Christ. And in 1 Corinthians 3, the judgment of certain individuals is one where they are going to be saved, but they're saved through fire. That is a purifying fire. That's exactly what purgatory is. In the sense of the ancient Christian belief, not only the ancient Christian, the ancient Judaic belief, it is that purgatory, what was I saying? That purgatory is exactly that, a purification. Now, the fire is clearly a metaphorical. We don't believe the fire is necessarily a literal fire. It can be a metaphorical one, the burning love of Christ, the burning love of the Holy Spirit. The church has never defined exactly what that particular fire is, but that's purgatorial there. Tell me how I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think, there's not too much wrong with your exegesis. The Free Grace position would also kind of agree that the people are being saved despite their bad works. We'd say that through the fire is more escaping the fire, just like in, I don't want to jump, but like in Peter, the same kind of construction's used, where it says they're saved through or by water. So I don't think here they're not actually touching the fire, if that makes sense.
Unfortunately, you'd be wrong because the construction diaporos, whenever it's used with precious metals, always includes in purification. So the construction in Peter has no bearing on 1 Corinthians 3's construction diaporos. Through the fire, it's very different through the water when diaporos is used. Every time that has precious metals, it's always a purification.
Why would you say it's precious metals here? Because that's the works, not the person.
Right. Those have to do with the works of the person. The precious metals are representing the works of the person, of course. They're listed there.
The precious metals are not being purified. They're just being burned.
You are incorrect. Yeah, of course, yeah. What do you mean precious metals are never burned? Precious metals are put through fire. They're purified. That is the imagery of diaporos with those other Greek words. You're wrong.
Well,
every time diaporos is used with precious metals, they are purified. They're put through the fire. They're not.
I don't know why you make that kind of association with like precious metals.
Because I can read Greek and I know what the early church fathers taught. That's a weird association. I can read Greek. I can read the Septuagint. I can read the New Testament. I know Koine Greek, and I know the unanimous consent of the early fathers. So it's pretty simple for me.
Let's stick to one at a time. So we'll stick to textual evidence. Let's stick to the textual evidence. But he also mentions hay and stubble here, which are not precious metals.
Of course they're not. They get burned away. Those are bad works.
Okay. So do you think the other works are not bad works either?
Precious metals are bad works? Of course not. Those are purified. Okay. The bad works are wood, hay, and straw. Come on, Ditmar. This is common sense.
I got you.
I'm spanking you, man. I'm going to spank you all night, Ditmar.
All right. Can you just stick to the text instead of yapping?
I'm going to spank you. You were talking, so we made a new stream.
You always have to go off topic.
You were talking, so we made a new stream, and I'm spanking you early on.
Okay, bro.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. So, my mistake. The precious metals are the ones that are not burned, which also, by the way, means they don't go through a purifying process. Only the bad works.
They go through a purifying process. You're wrong. You're incorrect, sir.
Hold on. Where does it say that?
Because they're attached to the man. They go through the fire. St. John Chrysostom as well believed. The Greek exegete believed they went through the fire. They purified, made the man even shinier. So yes, they do go through the fire.
Okay, my mistake. Sorry, no, that's true. It does say they're revealed by fire. So the fire tests the works. My mistake.
Can I ask you something, Ditmar? Can I ask you something? Because you've asked me many things. With all due respect, have you even studied this verse?
Of course. But I'm asking you about your position on purgatory.
I mean, okay, go ahead.
Hold on. Let me
I'm going to be kind. I'm going to try to be kind. If you insult me, then I'm going to spank you like a little redheaded stepchild. But right now, you're being okay.
I'm not redhead. I'm a brunette.
You get it. Your hair will turn red when I'm done with you.
Okay, so I agree that the fire tests all works, and only the good works, which are the precious metals, make it through the fire. I also agree that the hay and stubble get burned in the fire. But where do you extract purgatory from this? Because is it like
because the man is going through the fire? The man is the one that goes through the fire. The man is the one that is saved through the fire. Diaporos. The man is purified. because you don't separate. We're not Gnostic. Well, you might be because you're free grace. We don't separate the man from the works, and indeed the verse doesn't either. The man goes through the fire. The man is sothesitized, saved, so as through fire.
How would that prove purgatory, though? What if that's something
Because
else?
that is what purgatory is. Purgatory is postmortem purification. It proves purgatory because it literally tells you in the verse the man is saved through fire, purifying fire. And that is a unanimous testimony of the early church interpreting that verse from the earliest of centuries.
Is it a clear testimony from the passage, or is it from the early church basis?
Both. We don't separate the early fathers who knew the apostles and were taught and trained by them. We don't disconnect them from the text. They are the ones that tell us what the text means because they were taught and trained by the apostles, who in turn were taught and trained by Christ. But it's very clear from the text exegetically. Good luck trying to disprove that, and from the early church as well. My goodness, we have 970 watching again. I thought we were going to have way less. I didn't think everybody was. We got more than we were watching a little while ago.
They're all interested, but so why would you make the distinction between the through the fire here being a purification for the person and the same construction being used to escape the water elsewhere?
Because it's very different. Water doesn't show itself as purifying elements. When diaporos is used, it's always a purification with precious metals. So context is everything. It's very different.
I agree. Of course, I agree. There's a purification.
Context is everything. Oh, well, there you go. Then that's what purgatory is. Maybe
if you let me finish a statement, then I'd be happy to qualify.
I'm not trying to speak over you, Ditmar.
I know. Go ahead. That's fine. So the works being burned here, I agree. There's a purification for the works. I'm saying the construction of the person going through the fire, in my interpretation, is not going through the fire; they're escaping it.
There's no such thing. It's nonsensical. Nobody interpreted that as escaping, and it doesn't work through the context because the person literally goes through the fire. He's not escaping from the fire. Nobody ever interpreted that verse that way. And furthermore, that interpretation doesn't work because diaporos is never used for precious metals merely escaping a fire. It doesn't make any sense. It's all purification here.
The man is going through fire.
The only way this makes sense is by the construction of the Greek grammar, and I don't even have it open. I know it off the top of my head. I can tell you the Greek word for the man going through the fire. He is saved, but he suffers loss. The Greek word there is amiothesetai. He is suffering loss. Yeah, Google it. ChatGPT might be able to help. He's suffering loss. That loss is a suffering, a post-mortem suffering. He's undergoing purgatorial purification here. And Ditmar, I would be shocked. Maybe we agree on this. Maybe you don't even know. Maybe you don't know what the Catholic belief is, and maybe you agree with it.
I don't think I'd agree with the Catholic belief. I agree with the sentiment.
What do you think we believe? Tell me what you think we believe. Because maybe you don't even know.
In regards to purgatory or in
overall? No, about purgatory. Because very clearly, every time I refute you, say, okay, well, we can agree upon that. What do we believe about purgatory? Let me hear.
I said I agree with some of your exegesis here, not the whole thing. In regards to purgatory, I think you believe that you go through a purification process, like you said, where you can, I suppose, live properly in purgatory. I don't know, like work off your
no, you don't know what purgatory is, Ditmar. Yeah, you don't know what it is.
I'm happy for you to explain it to me.
Well, purgatory is a passive purification. We aren't working towards anything. There's not a second chance, Ditmar. We don't believe in a second chance in the afterlife at all. It is a passive purification where we are being purified. There is nothing that we can do in and of ourselves to work towards getting to heaven. And the idea of a concept of time is also not dogmatically taught by the church. It teaches that we undergo post-mortem purification, but you have many elements incorrect.
So what do you do in purgatory? What do you do?
I just said it. I just told you. It's a passive purification.
So
you are passively, who knows how the afterlife works, Ditmar? The fathers had various different views. Some viewed purgatory as a state of being. Some viewed it as a place, like a prison. I don't know. This purgatory can be different from person to person. But the fact of the matter is, you're asking me to exegete 1 Corinthians 3, and I just did. It's purgatorial.
But why would you interpret the fire as purgatory, though? That's my question.
I just explained to you every time.
I understand, but why the fire specifically?
You're not understanding, because fire purifies, Ditmar. That's the way the Bible uses it in the Septuagint.
So your logic is...
Hold on, let me answer. Let me answer. The way that you do exegetical work is you look and you see how these terms are used. And in the Old Testament, fire is used over and over for purification, even in the New Testament. Not all the time. And diaporos is not always for purification either, but the context determines what the verse means. And this is purification.
Yeah, but that's exactly my question. If the fire can be applied in different senses, and here it is purification, I agree. But why would you say that's why would you say that's specifically purgatory and not a different kind of purification or anything like that? Why? What's the reason for that?
I'm unsure that I understand. The Catholic Church never defines exactly how this purification must occur or happens to person in the afterlife. All that really matters is that purgatory is a reality, and 1 Corinthians 3 teaches this reality. This is purgation, purification in the afterlife. The verse teaches it right here. So with that in mind, do we know exactly how the person is purified? I don't know how fire or purification works in the afterlife. We simply know the person is suffering. He's going through a suffering. He's being purified to be ready for the kingdom of heaven.
Wait, so but you said it was passive, and then are you saying
Yeah.
they go through a suffering in purgatory?
Yeah, passive in the sense of there's nothing that you can do on your own to work towards salvation. In that sense, that's what passive means.
But suffering, are you saying the suffering is a passive event or what?
I'm saying that you're thinking of suffering as we suffer on earth. That zemiothesetai is very different. That is a suffering loss, the attachment to the worldly. Very clearly in the context of the cardinal attachments in 1 Corinthians 3, that's in view in the context. But in terms of the passive suffering, there's nothing that we can do in and of ourselves to help ourselves in the afterlife. That is what I mean.
Got it. So how do the works survive the purgatory? Like, in what sense are your works being tested there?
Because we're not Gnostics, we are Christians, and we believe that the works and the man are tied together. How do they survive? Well, the man goes through the fire, and if the man has lived a virtuous life, that man is saved. So thesetai, he gets to heaven. He'll be purified, but he goes to heaven. That's how the Greek word for saved is used. But then, consequently, in the very next verses, we get to verse 16 and 17, and the man, very clearly, that one that is destroyed, it didn't do or live a virtuous life. So there's a difference there.
So you think verses 16 to 17 are also tied to purgatory?
No, hell.
Oh, they're tied to hell. So, but when do they apply? Like, specifically, when?
Well, we're talking about purgatory right now, so I'll stick to purgatory.
Yeah.
I'm not getting to hell.
So when do verses 16 and 17, like, when are they
The afterlife.
actionable? Like, no, like, when do you adhere to them, in purgatory or today?
No, verses 16 and 17 have nothing to do with purgatory, because the person cannot be saved. He's destroyed himself. He destroyed the temple of the Lord. So it has nothing to do with purgatory. Purgatory is salvation. So thesetai, according to 1 Corinthians 3. It's very different.
Interesting. But my question is, like, the works being purified, and I'm going to be humble, right? I don't know enough about purgatory. I didn't claim to either. I just asked you to prove it. So I'm trying to learn. I'm honestly trying to learn about.
Okay, I'm glad that you're being honest, that you're here to learn. Yeah. You were quite arrogant earlier. Now you've been humble. No, I'm glad to see that you've been humble. Sometimes, I got to be honest, Ditmar, sometimes it takes a clobbering and a smacking around to get humbled. I'm glad you've been humbled. But let me tell you right now, the works and the man don't get divorced from one another. Ergon in St. Paul's writings doesn't get divorced from the man. And you see that all throughout the Pauline corpus, that you don't separate the works from the man. So when we read about the works, we then read that the man is the one that goes to the fire. And when I say man, it doesn't need to literally be a man, male. It can be a woman or a male, a man. Either which way, the important thing is that there is a purification. That man goes through the fire. And it isn't like running out. That's Calvin. We're not Calvinists. That is the earliest interpretation of 1 Corinthians 3, a heretical one, that the fire doesn't touch you. You run out. I know the modern day interpretation. That one simply doesn't work.
So that's interesting, and that's fine. I don't want to go to different texts. That's not the point of this.
No, we're sticking here.
Yeah, I'm sticking here. So the question is, if you have the person and the works and they're not detachable, it says the works are tried through the fire.
Sure.
In your view, from like what I'm understanding, the works pass through the fire. Like, you have the works beforehand.
They go hand in hand with the person. St. Paul uses them interchangeably, because when he talks about the works being apocalyptai, being revealed, then he then tells you, how are they apocalyptai? They go to the fire. The man goes to the fire. So you can't divorce the works from the man. That would be Gnostic. That would be Gnosticism. That's why St. Paul uses them interchangeably in 1 Corinthians 3.
But do you think the fire tries the works, right? It tries it if it's able to withstand. So in what sense, like, does purgatory try you?
Well, there's a difference. Hold on. In what sense does purgatory try you? Apocalyptic reveals how you lived your life. That's Judgment Day. The fire will show, did you live in your life to the point of undergoing purification to be saved, or did you destroy the temple? And a temple is destroyed in 16 and 17. That would be eternal hellfire. But the salvific fire, which we're not defining as a literal fire, is one that purifies. How does it purify? Ditmar, I don't think any of us will be able to give that answer till Judgment Day.
That's interesting.
I'm just being honest with you. The church, there are certain things that the church has defined, And even the early fathers that gave opinions on certain things, some said this was a real burning fire of the Holy Spirit. Some thought that it was a metaphorical fire for just suffering. Some believed purgatory was a place. Saint Cyprian of Carthage from the 200s believed that. In Epistle 55 or 51, depending on how you number it, in the Latin corpus, defines this as a place, a carcere, a prison where one is undergoing a post-mortem purification. He combines the Gospel of St. Matthew and 1 Corinthians 3 to teach purgatory. It's been the ancient interpretation of 1 Corinthians 3 from the beginning.
Yeah, I can understand that's been the ancient interpretation. I'm struggling to see like how the fire tests the works of what sort it is. Like, why wouldn't the person just...
You are asking me to tell you the concept of how testing works in the afterlife. And brother, I'll be honest with you, I have no idea. I don't think anybody knows that.
Yeah, okay, that's fine if you say you don't know, but I'm saying...
I don't think anyone knows that.
Okay. But how would you not need, or excuse me, why would you need this purification through purgatory?
In order to be purified before entering heaven.
So obviously some type of like testing, like some type of suffering actually occurs in purgatory, or else you would just go straight to the final judgment to get your works tested and judged.
I think that I just said that there's a kind of suffering. There's a semiothesetai. That's indicative of a kind of suffering. I said passive suffering. By passive,
I don't understand the concept of passive suffering. I don't know if that makes
what
sense.
Does passive mean?
Something that's not occurring to you. It's not active. The opposite of active. Like it's not. You're not actionably doing.
Right. You're not actively doing something. Right. So when I say you are suffering, and I use the word passive, I mean that you are not doing anything to work yourself away from that suffering or to work yourself out of purgatory. Maybe the language I'm using is confusing. The person is passive. Let's say that. He is suffering in the afterlife. He's passive. He cannot do anything to work his way out of purgatory. He will undergo that process. If you want to use the word process or you want to use the concept of time, either which way, the church has never defined how time works in the afterlife either. But that is a very important concept, that there is purification occurring here.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm going to be honest. I don't think this, like, I see your argument. I just don't think there's like any real strong proof. Like there's plenty of alternative explanations.
Well, you haven't refuted any of that. I got to be honest.
I'm just asking you. Well, that's why I asked you.
Right, you're asking me. You are asking, but you don't think it's strong. You're going to have to provide an alternative. And now I know that maybe you're barely learning this, but you got a world against you. Exegetically, you're not going to be able to stand up to this argument. And then in the patristics either, you're not going to survive. I hope you know that, Ditmar, any which way you look.
Totally different argument. I can see where you build your basis from the patristics.
Exegetically, you're not going to survive. We'll stick to the exegesis.
I mean, just exegetically, I don't see purgatory here. Like I just see...
Because you didn't know what purgatory was. You didn't know what purgatory was. But you just admitted to the audience. You just admitted to the audience there's a purification here. That's purgatory.
Yeah,
you admitted to the audience.
That's I can clip that. Why would you make that leap?
Because that is what purgatory is. It is a purification in the afterlife. You told the audience, I agree it's a purification. And I can have my editor clip that when you agreed, and then now you're backtracking. You agreed it was a purification. It is. There's no way around it.
I mean, if you edit me, make sure to include the whole context, which is...
I don't need to edit anything. This whole video will be here for people to see the spanking and education. The whole video is going to be here.
You just said your editor, but anyway.
No, I meant the editor is going to catch what you said earlier, Ditmar, and then show you're contradicting yourself now. I never said this video would be edited. Ditmar, I don't edit my videos by removing parts of the debate. I'm not Ryan, okay?
Gotcha. Yeah, no, but my point was, I agree it's about purification. I never claimed otherwise. I just said I don't see purgatory. It'd be a leap to say this is purification, therefore this is purgatory. That's a leap.
That is what purgatory is, purification in the afterlife.
Yeah, that's a leap in logic. Because purgatory is purification doesn't mean because this teaches purification, it teaches purgatory. That's a leap in logic.
That is exactly what purgatory is. If a verse teaches purification, if a verse teaches purification in the afterlife, and you say, well, it doesn't mean it teaches purgatory, and I tell you that's what purgatory is. That is what purgatory is, man.
I didn't say this teaches purification in the afterlife. I said it teaches purification.
Well, it teaches purification in the afterlife. That's how St. Paul uses the day. Judgment day. He uses the day. Well, then refute it then.
Yeah,
I know this is a law you don't agree with, man. But you got to do better than this, man. You're going to have to study this issue really big time. And if you want, once you've studied it for a long, long time, if you think you can do better than Dr. Michael Brown, we'll see if you can do better.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care about Dr. Michael Brown.
Think you can do better than him? One of the very best Protestant debaters on the planet. You think you can do better than him?
Like if you notice in some versions,
I'm wondering if you think you can do better than him. I
It's
put him to
irrelevant
the
to the
wood
it's
cutter
irrelevant
on
to the
this
argument.
text.
I
That's
haven't
what I
watched your
thought.
debate.
That's what I thought. Go ahead.
I haven't watched your debate, so I can't.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Some versions render it as someone escaping through the flames.
I don't care what
Why
they
is that?
render it. I couldn't care less what a Protestant verse says.
Okay, so you have a problem with the translation, right?
There are a lot of translations I have problems with. I think it's pretty much
Yeah,
common sense,
that's fine.
Ditmar.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I don't know where else to take this. I just don't think you've really proven anything. I think your best case would be from the church fathers.
I mean, you've done miserably exegetically all night. We can ask the audience, but then again, you're going to say they're all Catholic, so it won't be fair.
I never said it's just a straw man. I just said they'd be
okay. They'll be biased towards me. I mean, I've got an unusual crowd tonight, so some of your people are clearly here. I don't usually have 900 watching. By the grace of God, I usually have about 250, 300. I never have 900. You got to have a lot of your people here. There are people of yours here too. Don't act like it's only my audience. There's got to be people of yours here too. And I tell you one thing, Ditmar, I guarantee you there are a lot of Protestants that may not be on your side, but they don't agree with purgatory.
Yeah, that's probably true for purgatory for sure.
Yeah. I mean, do your very best to refute it. I'm waiting. Got 10 minutes left, and I know you got to go, but I mean, all that I have seen, Ditmar, is you've shown up, and I have prepared you for bed, and I'm about to tuck you in. I'm about to tuck you in.
The purpose of this, I told you to prove it. The burden was on you to prove it.
Purification of the afterlife, diaporos, the man goes through fire. Every time diaporos is used with precious metals, it's a purification. Unanimous testimony of the early fathers. I don't know what else I need to do, man.
I agree.
You want me to conjure up somebody, conjure someone up from heaven to tell you that you're wrong? I can't do anything more than that.
That's a great rhetorical device in speaking, but look, the point is, I agree it's a purification of metals. I never said otherwise.
Purification of the person.
The person is not a metal.
Who goes through the fire?
The metals, not the person. It says.
Oh, really? What does the verse tell you? The person is saved through the fire. That means he goes through the fire. Where else do the metals go through the fire if the metals are indicative of the good works? Where does Paul separate the works from the man?
I have to pull up the passage 1 second.
Where does St. Paul separate the works from the man? Now you're agnostic.
Many places where he says you're justified by faith apart from works. If the person is justified by faith, the person is apart from the works.
Works of the law. Works of the law.
Clearly.
You're still judged by your works.
The law is
you are still judged by your works.
God.
You're still judged by your works in Judgment Day. That's the works of the law.
Hold on. Why does he say? I don't want to jump, but you made me jump.
No, we're not.
Why does he say it's by faith apart from works? And
if you read the context, you read chapter 1, it's talking about the faithful of the church. Those are those that are faithful. Faith never means mere intellectual assent, ever.
We should do a debate on the definition of faith. But let me
Ditmar,
just ask you this. Hold on. Answer this.
No. Hold on, Ditmar. Hold on.
Bro, you're making assertions.
What makes you think you're going to survive a different kind of debate against me?
You want to
if you've been annihilated
actually answering a question?
If you've been annihilated tonight, what makes you think you're going to survive another one? We're going back to 1 Corinthians 3.
We will. But you made an assertion on faith. If pistis means faithfulness.
No, I'm not going to faithfulness. I'm not going to faithfulness. I mean, if you want to do a whole debate now, we can do that tomorrow. No, this is 1 Corinthians.
You went to faithfulness.
You went to works. You said that the works are separated from the man because of Romans 3. And I told you no. I replied to you. There is no example where St. Paul separates the works from the man.
You asked me for an example, and I gave you.
And I corrected you. On Judgment Day, the Bema Seat, your works are going to be judged.
Let me correct your statement. So if pistis means faithfulness, it's such a simple question. Why in Peter does he say add these virtues?
Let's open the verse.
Why does he say add?
Let's open it up. Okay, what's your question? Give me the verse.
Yeah, it's 2 Peter 1, 6-9, where he says add these virtues.
2 Peter what?
Chapter 1, 6 through 9.
All right, let me hear. What's your what? And I'm going back to 1 Corinthians 3 after this, buddy. I'm not going to allow you to hop around and to run around. Go ahead.
No, we're not running. We're just going to a different topic for now. So
we're not going to go to a different topic. We're going to go right back to purgatory.
Well, you're answering this question, so by definition, it's a different topic. The question was in 2 Peter, why does it say to add these virtues to your faith? Add virtue, which is moral goodness, to your faith. If moral goodness, including the fruits of the Spirit, these are the fruits of the Spirit.
Yeah, because that's a faith. That's a faithful response to grace. You can clearly see that from I'm reading the text right now. Yeah, faithfulness, in case you tend to not know, requires mastery over sin, as Romans 8:13 tells you. I'm reading 2 Peter 1:6 right now, and it's teaching that true faith produces faithful discipline. Right here, patient, endurance, steadfast, loyalty, perseverance. This is one of the most powerful verses for faithfulness I've yet seen. Thank you so much for this right here.
It doesn't say
literally,
that.
verse 6.
It says add to your
literally,
pistis.
verse 6 says eusebia. That is a lived faith, not mere intellectual assent. Thank you for this one. Now I just put this one under my armpit here. This is even better than the other ones I've used. Thank you for this verse. You've
Thanks
helped
for
me out.
dodging the question where it literally
You've helped
says
me.
add.
I just answered it for you.
No, you didn't. It says add to your faith. How can you add to faith if faith
And I
encompasses
just
the moral
answered it
virtues?
for you, and I told you it is a faithful response to grace. I just answered it for you. God gives, and we have to faithfully cooperate. I answered it, but I'm not going to let you run from 1 Corinthians.
Go ahead. Go back to
this. Is
1 Corinthians
very
3.
clearly you're scared of it. We're going to
I'm
go
not scared
back
of it.
there.
You're just.
We're going to go back
there. Do you
there.
feel any shame of like slandering people? Do you feel any shame of that?
You didn't realize you've been insulting everybody all night, right?
But you can't say you're scared if that's slander.
But you know what? I'm using that language because you have.
Yeah.
You've been insulting me all night, Ditmar. And I didn't cry once.
Do you not feel shame doing that? Like,
let me be kind to you, Ditmar. I'm sorry, baby. Did I hurt your feelings, baby?
No, I don't want you to apologize. I just want you to
no, Ditmar.
be consistent with your theology.
No, Ditmar. I'm sorry, little baby girl. You want tissue? Tissue, baby girl? I apologize, man. I don't want. Well, wipe those tears off, Ditmar. I don't want you to be sad. Forgive me if I have hurt your feelings, Ditmar. I want to tuck you into bed right now. Tell you a little bedtime story. What do you want to hear? The Grinch stole Christmas?
Sarcasm being
the Grinch that stole Christmas. I am the Grinch that stole this debate. That's what I am. I'm William the Grinch. That'll be the next meme done by my editor. Anyway, back to 1 Corinthians 3. This is my view. Let me educate you. The view is on Judgment Day, the man is being purified. The works in the man don't get separated. And even if you want to, let's pretend. Well, let us pretend that in other verses you do that. St. Paul does do it, separate ergon from the man, from anir. Let's say he does that in other verses. Here, I believe the context is very clear. He does not. The context is very clear. The man is going through the fire. You haven't proven that. The man is going through the fire in 1 Corinthians 3 here. There's no doubt about it.
Actually, 1 Corinthians 3 separates between the two as well. It says the works are tried, and yet the man is saved going through the fire. It clearly delineates or distinguishes between the two.
No, sir. It identifies. When it says that the works are apocalyptitai, it then tells you the man is the one that goes through the fire. The works are revealed. They are apocalyptitai. Then the man is the one that goes through the fire. Doesn't separate the works.
Hold on. Here's the question.
Open up the verse.
If the works are inseparable from the person, how can the person lose the works and suffer loss? And yet the person is saved through the fire.
He is suffering the worldly attachment to sin. That is what zemiothesitai is meaning here in this verse. He is suffering the worldly attachment to sin. And you can come back and say, well, I don't believe zemiao means that there. I think that is the best reading of suffering loss. What is he suffering a loss of? Very clearly, he's being purified, so he's suffering a loss to the worldly attachments. Even if you don't believe that as a reading of zemiao, it doesn't matter. The man is going through the fire, being purified. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I guess we disagree. I don't know how much more we can go through. We've pretty much exhausted.
I think that we do disagree a lot, Ditmar.
Yes, indeed.
But I'd be willing to debate you on faith and pistis, faithfulness, anything. We can do it tomorrow if you want. We'll go through all those verses if you want.
Wow, you'd give me the courtesy of debating tomorrow too?
Yeah, why not, man? I like you, man. I like you. You talk a big game. You talked a lot of trash earlier. Just don't cry, man. I can handle you insulting me.
I look like I'm crying? I'm not crying.
No. But if I can handle you insulting me, which you did all night long, then don't get mad when I give you a little friendly jab. A few friendly jabs.
There's nothing wrong with insulting. I just don't like slander. That's what I don't like.
How did I slander you?
Well, you said I'm scared. That's slander.
You think that's worse than being called a dog?
I mean, being called a dog is not necessarily slander. It's just an insult.
You know, Ditmar,
look, bro, we went back.
I'm not a crybaby, Ditmar.
You know, whatever. Okay,
Ditmar, I can handle anything, Ditmar. Yeah. I'm not a crybaby. I'm a big boy.
Likewise.
And I wish you were a big boy too, man. You lift weights. You got to be a big boy, man. Come on, man. Look at those arms. You got big arms, man. Right? How big are those? 13 and a half?
No, they're probably like 16.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool deal. When are you going to return your sister's baby sister shirt? I love you, man. I'm joking, man. I love you, Ditmar. Don't get mad. I love you, man. You're red now. Don't get mad, Ditmar. I love you, man. Ditmar, let's do it again tomorrow or another day. Hit me up. We'll do it again.
Yeah, for sure. If you want to do it tomorrow, we can, for sure.
Hit me up. We'll do it tomorrow if you want. Yeah. We'll do a pistis. We'll do faith alone. Hey, bring Ryan, man. Bring Ryan. We'll see how Ryan does.
No, I don't want Ryan on that team, bro. That's an off against free grace.
It won't go too well for him again, will it?
Yeah. All right, bro. Ditmar. I appreciate it if you want to call it here.
Yeah, I'll call it here. I'm gonna remove you and then just call it a night and read a few super chats. And I'll be done. I'll close it in about 10, 15 minutes.
All right, bro.
You have a good evening, brother.
Take care,
man.
too.
You guys are great for tuning in, guys. You all are phenomenal. I'm sorry I had to end the other one without reading any super chats, guys. Forgive me. Mea culpa. Have you all enjoyed it? I want to read a few super chats. So we're going to close the doors of the dojo. We're going to go because I got to get up early in the morning. I got to hit the gym, guys. I got to hit that gym tomorrow morning, man. Let's go, William. Why does this guy disagree when he doesn't know what he's disagreeing with? He doesn't know. Blando, I know, man. But I do have high hopes. I hope he does come back. And I do hope that one day he'll hit me up and he'll come closer to believing what we believe. I hope that, man. I hope that. AB, goated moderator and member. Ditmar, you're too green to exegete with such certainty, especially with no understanding of the church fathers. There you go, man. There you go, man. It didn't go very well for him, man. But I'm not going to go over any other verses. To be fair in a debate, when a debate ends, you don't go over any of the verses. We're done. The debate has ended. I am reading super chats. I cannot go over anything anymore. I've already gone over the verses. If I didn't do well enough, or if he didn't do well enough, it ends there. I am not the kind of person that has to do damage control and do a 10-hour show and then refute my opponent. I can refute my opponent in real time. I can do it in real time. I don't need to do another show. Restart Bear. William, some theologians mention Luke 12 as a support for purgatory. Is that something that you can delve into? Does that correlate? It does, brother, without a doubt. It does without a doubt, man. Brother, all you have to do is copy it here, and I will read it right now, or I'll answer it, brother. Forgive me, my friend. I had to end it. Look at me sweating, man. I got to go put the air up right now. What? What do you think you're doing, huh? I know you want to be fed because I've been online for about 4 hours. I know you want to be fed, but you're going to have to wait, all right? I mean, you're going to have to wait a little bit, all right? All right? All right. Forgive me, Lino Molina. You don't have to send another one. Just copy it here, brother. Forgive me, my friend. Forgive me, brother. I never, ever miss super chats. Forgive me, guys. I had to end the other one to begin this one. Forgive me. Yep. Without a doubt, Luke 12 does teach purgatory. Yep. I think my daughter gets cold and then raises the air. I mean, I'm going to put her in a headlock after this, man. I'm going to tell her, what are you doing to me? I'm going to put her in a headlock. Tell her, what are you doing to me? Yeah, so let me read it for you, Ristard Bear. By the way, God bless you, my friend. In Luke 12, it says, Lord, are you telling this parable for us all? So Peter wants clarity. Who then is the faithful and wise steward? But if the servant says the master will come and will cut him in pieces and put him with the unfaithful, that is external punishment. Damage. That's damage. External punishment, damnation. Notice he's already distinguishing the category from the others. He's talking about two types of servants who are not damned, two other types of servants. That is crucial for purgatory, Restart. Because there are some that go to damnation, others who are punished but not damned, and verse 47 tells you. There is a servant who did know, who knew his master's will, but did not get ready or act according to his will. He shall receive many stripes. He is called a servant, not an enemy. And he receives real temporal punishment. You are right. This is purgatorial, Restart. You're 100% right. Without a doubt. Lino Molina, I want you to forgive me, my friend. Please forgive me, brother. If one saved, always saved is true, how is this not different than reducing Christianity to a mere psychological compartment? Might as well be a Cartesian. Now, let me tell you one thing, Lino Molina. Let me touch upon that. Forgive me for not tackling it, brother. Mea culpa. Mea culpa, my friend. These free grace people believe whatever they can concoct. I'm going to be honest with you, Lino Molina. I really do think it is a matter of being arrogant. I think it's a matter of being arrogant, my friend. That is what I think, man. I think it's a matter of being arrogant and not caring what anybody believed before you. I find it to be the utter height of of ridiculous blasphemy. Brother, can you copy and paste it here? I'll read it right now. But, I'm not done reading the ones here, brother. Can you point me to readings that show we don't have free will in heaven? Yeah. So free will, brother. Man, my cat is going wild, man. So remember what the Bible teaches, Braxton. By the way, God bless you, brother. Braxton, you got to email me that photo you made of me with the Diet Coke. I want that photo, man. I want to make that photo into like an image here, man. You gotta get that for me, man. Now remember what the Bible tells you in Hebrews 12:22-23. You have come to the New Jerusalem, to the spirits of the righteous made perfect. A perfect will cannot sin. It is incapable of fault, meaning that it excludes the possibility of choosing evil. So in heaven, your righteousness is perfected, brother. Your will is fixed on God. What are you doing, cat? Your will is fixed on God. And the possibility of sin is completely eliminated. Completely eliminated. That alone destroys the idea of free will in heaven. You're not going to have free will to sin. You're going to be perfectly conformed to the image of God. Remember what 1 John 3:2 says. We shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. That is Catholic Theology 101, that the beatific vision removes the ability to sin. A will that sees God as he is incapable of rejecting him. Now, can you say that your will is in tune with God and pointed directly at God? Right, there's no more sin in the afterlife. There is no chance of having free will to where one can sin and fall from the faith. That is eliminated. That is eliminated. Yeah, the cat's going to beat me up, guys. Brother, was that clear? Did that help, my friend? Forgive me, guys, for forgetting the super chats in the last one. Guys, I want to tell you all, we are here doing what we do because of you. And I want to apologize if I missed a few super chats. You guys are the reason we're here. You guys are phenomenal and incredible. Mind forged. Romans 2:6-9 says, you're rewarded for works, and eternal life is a reward. Ephesians 2, I believe you're talking about initial justification. Nothing precedes grace. You're right. We are saved by sola gratia. We are saved by grace alone. You're correct about that, Mindforge. We are saved by sola gratia, by grace alone. We are, without a doubt, brother. Wonderful, wonderful point. And I want to give a shout out to the incredible Restored Bear, who gifted a membership. Who got the membership? I have no idea how to read that name. I have never been stumped before in my life. I have no clue how to read that name, but I'm going to copy and paste it. That is the one that got the membership. Restart, thank you for your incredible support. Lino Molina, thank you, brother. Thank you. But mea culpa, I feel terrible that I missed a few of them. Forgive me, guys. Gideon, really? Gideon, okay. Really? Is that how you pronounce it, Gideon? All right. All right, Gideon. Cool deal. Man, I know that, man. I'm not sweating anymore, man. I'm going through purgatory here right now, man. I gotta tell you, man. How do you guys like it tonight? You like that early panel and the debate that we had? How do y'all like the debate? Cool deal. All right, guys. All right. How do you guys like that? How do you guys like the debate? I hope you all loved it, man. We'll continue for another. Do you guys want to continue another 20 minutes? Anything you all have in your mind? If you all want to continue for another 20 minutes, we'll continue. And then we'll close the doors of the dojo. Make it a full hour. Make it a full hour, guys. Anything else you have in your mind? Let me look at our WhatsApp group. Love to Ditmar. I love you, man. Thank you. Thank you, man. Let's see. Let me look. James, you should not be blocked, brother. I don't know why you got blocked, brother. I don't know why you got. I'll take care of that, brother. Don't worry about it. Diego Molina, I'm glad you loved it, man. If we don't have any other questions, we'll wrap it up. And if you all want, tomorrow I'll do an AMA. Anything on your mind, you can come and ask anything. Anything you all have on your mind, you can come and ask anything. Thank you, Wretched. Thank you for taking years off of purgatory for us, William. You're a gentleman and a scholar. God bless you. Man, why are you a hater, Reborn? Why you mean the debate was just okay? We always got to get one hater, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Why was the debate just okay? Come on. Why you got to be a hater? I don't know. I do not know. I don't make the outro. You know what? Divine Mercy made it. I don't know. You have to ask him. He made it. I forgot. He's the one that made it. I don't know. He's the one that made it. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Ditmar. We like you, Ditmar. We love you, man. Yep. So if we go through purgatory and it straightens us up to help us never want to sin again, purgatory is, remember, I think that maybe you're misunderstanding. I think you're maybe misunderstanding, brother. Let me lay it out for you. And we'll touch upon this. I'm a mean one, Mr. Grinch. So let me lay it out for you. Purgatory is passive purification. Now, what do we mean by passive? It means the soul doesn't work or choose or merit. God purifies the soul. The soul undergoes purification. The will cannot sin. There is no possibility to sin in purgatory, to purgatory. Now, why is that? Because the person dies in Christ in a state of grace, and upon death, the will is fixed. There's no more choosing in the afterlife, brother. There's no more choosing. Your will is fixed. Therefore, the purification is God's act. It isn't it's not the soul's. It is God's act. After death, the will is fixed. After death, you got judgment. You're not choosing. You're not repenting. You're not sinning, and you're not meriting. Your eternal orientation is either towards God or away from God. It's already decided. Purgatory cannot involve free will. How? How? You are already saved. 1 Corinthians 3. He himself will be saved, yet so as through fire. You are already saved. You're guaranteed salvation. The fire is purifying. You're being passively purified. The judgment that purifies is God's work alone. Now, the beatific vision is not yet granted, but the will is not free to choose sin, nor free to merit, nor free to resist. Purgatory is dying in grace and union with God. There is no freedom to sin or resist. The will cannot sin in purgatory. You've already died in sanctifying grace. The will is locked into friendship with God. Even Aquinas teaches that, brother. Hope you guys are doing good, guys. All right, guys. We're going to wrap it up, guys. Oh my goodness, guys. There are no choices to be made in purgatory, brother. I don't know what you mean by you get a choice. You don't get any choices in purgatory, brother. You don't get any choices, brother. In your closet, brother. I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna eat everything you have in your fridge, man. I live in your closet, brother. I'm gonna come out at night and I'm going to take your all your food from your fridge, brother. I'm taking it all out, man. Take it all out and I'm gonna eat it all, man. Where do I live? You think I'm gonna really tell you where I live, man? What are you talking about, man? No, man. There's no free will. There's no way, man. Do, 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 do. Any other questions, guys, before we wrap it up? Before we wrap it up. So remember the teaching, brother. Remember the teaching about free will. You can say that your will is directed towards worshiping and doing everything well. We do not have free will in the sense that we can commit sin. Now, we don't lose freedom, but our will is perfectly perfected and turned towards God, perfectly perfected and turned towards God. Now, when the intellect directly sees God, the will is immovably drawn to him as the supreme good. So, can you say that we notice how there's a difference between free will on earth and your will in heaven? Now, you can say we have freedom, and you can even if you nuance it and say, well, our free will means we're going to always choose good. Well, then yes, in heaven that is different than the free will on earth to where you can choose evil. That is different. That is very different. Now, every saint will pray for us. If we call upon the saints, all of them will, because that is a good act. That is a good deed, and they are always meaning to do good. Always meaning to do good. I live in his nightmares. All right, guys. I think we're going to wrap it up there. I don't see any more questions. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Remember that there's a big difference. Does free will remain? If you nuance it and say your freedom and your will is now directed to always do good, but it's different than the free will on earth where we can choose to do bad. You can no longer choose to do bad in heaven. Your will is perfectly aligned with God. So when I say we have no free will, I mean in the very sense of the free will that we have right now on earth. Very, very different. Yeah, guys, I think we got to pray for him. I think we got to pray for him. Without a doubt. I think we got to pray for him, guys. Let me see. All right, guys. We're going to wrap it up, guys. God bless you. God bless you, guys. Y'all are incredible and phenomenal. With that, we're going to close the door to the dojo. Tomorrow, we will be back. We'll do an AMA, guys. Anything you got in your mind, anything and everything you got in your mind, guys, we will touch upon it. I love all you guys. You guys are great. Thank you for your phenomenal support. We're here doing what we do because of you guys, but we call it close the doors of the dojo now. If y'all loved it, let me know if you loved it. And if you haven't checked us out over there on patreon.com, what are you waiting for? I love all you guys. Y'all have a phenomenal evening.
I believe in one God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, of all things visible and invisible. I believe in one Lord Jesus Christ, the only begotten Son of God, born of the Father before all ages, God from God, light from light, true God from true God, begotten, not made, consubstantial with the Father. Through him all things were made, for us men and for our salvation. He came down from heaven, and by the Holy Spirit was incarnate of the Virgin Mary, and became man. For our sake he was crucified under Pontius Pilate. He suffered death and was buried, and rose again on the third day. In accordance with the Scriptures, he ascended into heaven, and is seated at the right hand of the Father. He will come again in glory, to judge the living and the dead, and his kingdom will have no end. I believe in the Holy Spirit, the Lord, the giver of life, who proceeds from the Father and the Son, who with the Father and the Son is adored and glorified, who has spoken through the prophets. I believe in one holy, Catholic, and Apostolic Church. I confess one baptism for the forgiveness of sins, and I look forward to the resurrection of the dead and the life of the world to come. Amen.